Welcome back to Open Your Eyes. This is our first conversation this morning, and as we said, it's all about navigating the journey of Alzheimer's care. This morning we are joined virtually by Dr. Carl Leacock. He is a general practitioner over at Mercy Clinic. Good morning, Dr. Carl. Thank you so much for joining us.
No problem.
So, thank you so much for joining us, as we mentioned. I think Alzheimer's and Alzheimer's care is a conversation that we haven't really had much of here on the morning show before. But I do know that it's a topic and a disease that many people would have come across, either hearing of or might have knowing someone who has been suffering with Alzheimer's. For persons, though, who are still not familiar with what Alzheimer's is, what is this?
Okay, so basically, Alzheimer's is the most common cause of dementia worldwide. It does affect your cognitive and non-cognitive skills, so that would be memory, your behavioral actions, your emotions. It tends to start later in our age, so around 50 to 60 years of age, but it can start as early as 30 years of age.
Wow.
Wow.
And it is quite debilitating to the family members and the patients. It's something very difficult to manage.
So what leads to Alzheimer's?
So many factors. It could be genetics, it could be trauma, it could be health factors such as chronic disease, diabetes, hypertension. All of those things, including with your diet, they do lead to Alzheimer's in the future, right? We can't narrow it down to what actually causes it based on the patient. It's a combination of factors, though.
Break down further for us, and I know you mentioned some of it, but kindly break down further for us the symptoms and the challenges, the real challenges that families face when they have a loved one battling this disease.
Okay, so the most common symptom that patients would start to notice, or the family members would notice on a patient, would be the memory loss. So that's like forgetting something they told you 5 minutes ago, forgetting some past events, some future events, unable to memorize numbers or remember phone numbers, where you wanted to go, or you might have gone to the shop, forgot that you came in a car, you return on the bus, then when you reach home, your families are asking you, where's the car? We've had a couple of patients here at the clinic that has happened to. It does play a big role in the family's life, because they have to be, basically, as the disease progresses, you have to be around the patient 24/7. You can't leave them on their own. They begin to lose all function. So it would be first the memory, then it would progress to not being able to brush your teeth, not being able to walk. You wouldn't remember when you want to use the bathroom, what you were doing, if you left the stove on, if you ate. So all of those things put a huge financial toll on the family members, because it's difficult for a family member to stay 24/7 around a patient like that. So they would have to hire a caregiver.
Yes.
And you would need training on that, because you would tend to lose your patients around a patient with Alzheimer's. Because if you don't understand the disease, you would think that they would be cursing you out or being aggressive to you out of the blue, but that's just something that disease causes.
Doctor, I wanna quickly clear the air for persons that might be tuning in that maybe, suffer from some type of forgetfulness and are panicking and saying, oh my goodness, I hope I'm not having early signs of Alzheimer's or dementia. What can you tell us as the difference between the two?
To make the separation.
To separate it, as Paul said, to not have a sense of panic if you're just slightly forgetful, or if you might be transitioning into a case of Alzheimer's.
So dementia is the umbrella term. Basically, that encompasses a wide range of diseases, which would be Alzheimer's. You have age-related dementia, which would happen to all of us. As you get older, you tend to get forgetful, right?
Okay.
However, where it becomes worrying is when you start forgetting on a daily basis things that are very important to you. So For example, it would be okay to forget your bank number, right, or
Yeah.
your login information.
Right.
However, if you can't remember or forget a number, or you make a mistake writing the number. But if you begin to become forgetful in everything, so you can't remember your birthday or your family's birthday, what they told you 5 minutes ago, you can't remember where you're going. All of those would tend to put you on, that line that says, okay, I might have to do a test to see if I'm having dementia, or what kind of dementia it would be.
What are the tests that are involved to determine if you have a type of dementia?
Okay, so it's a wide range of tests. First of all, we use something called a MOCA, right? It's a cognitive assessment that we at Mercy Clinic have our social worker carry out on the patients. Basically, it would give you a wide range of tests. For example, give you numbers to remember. We would give you a couple of words to remember, colors. How would you associate red with what animal? Drawing a clock, putting the numbers in. You have blood tests, so we have to rule out a wide range of diseases that can cause dementia. For example, thyroid disease, vitamin deficiency diseases. We would require CT scan. You should do a CT scan, but due to the cost, most of the times we don't do a CT scan to help us with the diagnosis. Right? We base on the symptoms and what the family what NHI can provide and what the family member can afford. Apart, right?
Yes.
Based on that, then we would come up with a plan and we would educate the family members. And if the patient is caught in an early stage, we also educate them on how the disease progresses, what to expect, and what the disease is.
So let's talk a bit about that. How did disease progress? How did disease progress from perhaps that initial phase to becoming extreme? Is there, and I'm asking more so if there is like a timeline based on your observation and study as to how quickly it progresses.
And can you manage it to delay it at any point?
So I've had success with my experience with my patients. I've had patients that we've placed on medications that I haven't seen a progression from the mild, which would be the mild episode would be just forgetfulness, right?
Okay.
I've had patients that we've caught them that they're in a late stage. They can't take care of themselves. They can't brush their teeth. They don't know who they are. They become aggressive. In that case, I wouldn't recommend the medication because they're at a stage it's far too gone already. It would just be to treat the symptoms. So the aggression, we would help the family members with controlling the aggression. Giving them something to help them sleep better. And in that case, in the severe case, would be mainly addressing the family members rather than the patient, because the family will need all the help they can obtain to treat the patient. Now, timeline, if you keep healthy, it does assist in slowing down the progress. So that would mean staying away from processed food, fast food, fried food, all of those, trying to control if you have a chronic condition such as diabetes or hypertension, keeping it under control. So I mean, taking your medication, if you're on medication, controlling the diet. But I can't give a timeline as how fast it would progress. It depends on the patient and how they take care of themselves.
In terms of the treatment, it's primarily like a medication that's available in Belize, and worldwide. Is that the common sort of treatment, medication?
Yes, so you have different therapies. You have disease-modifying treatments, which I don't believe we have in Belize as yet, and we have the symptoms management therapy. So the symptom management would be, for example, one of the medication that we use here a lot is memantine. And we also use Aricept, which is done as a pill, right? Those help to control the amount of memory loss the patient will go through, right? I have had patients on it for years, and I haven't seen the disease progress. And I've had patients on it, and I've seen the disease progress, right? Also, it's not only the medication, it's education to the family member, the change of lifestyle, having them do activities such as art. I see a lot of my patients that they obtain relief while carrying out painting activities or word puzzles, looking at those television shows that those game shows,
Oh,
and having them do simple tasks around the home. So giving them ornaments to clean or washing dishes, which you would try to stay away from the sharp objects, right? But giving them
Yeah.
the plates and cups to wash, just to keep their mind active.
Wow.
Taking them out on a walk, that is actually helpful as well. Because if you just keep them in the home,
Yeah.
they become more aggressive.
yeah. Talk to us about the aggression that may come with dementia. What causes that frustration?
So I've noted in my patient, the main cause of that frustration would be that the family members become frustrated, so they leave them home 24/7, or they don't have time to take them out, right? All of that. I mean, if you stay in one place every day, that's going to get to you, right?
Yes.
So, simple 20-minute walk outside early morning or in the afternoon, it helps them a lot, right? But if you just keep them in one spot and tell them what to do, that brings on the depression. So you have to give them their space. Ask them what they want, what they would prefer to eat, what they want to do today. Just don't tell them what to do.
I want to go back to a point that you raised about persons with diabetes or hypertension that could also have these conditions as well. Is there a type of research that is done that shows that association?
Yes, they've had research. Basically, okay, so the diabetes and hypertension, once they're non-controlled, they begin to affect all the organs, right?
Yes.
And one of the organs they affect is your brain as well. So you have plaque buildups that form in your brain, and that helps to worsen the disease as well. So if we control your sugar level, your pressure level, you should be at a better state of managing the Alzheimer's rather than if you have someone who's on control.
Yeah. Doc, what I like about some of what you're saying is that a lot of it goes back to your lifestyle, at least in terms of managing the disease and managing your health. So the type of things that you eat, being health conscious, physical activities. You're saying that that could really go a long way with this disease and a lot of other diseases and complications we face, right?
Like I always tell my patients, the main part in treating a chronic illness is exercise and dieting. Medications will only do so much. If you're on medication but you're not following a healthy dieting plan, and you're not doing exercise, you will have to increase the dosage of the medication, or you have to add on medication. So having a well-balanced diet and exercising daily. By exercise, I don't mean you have to go to the gym, lift weights, right? Simple thing as walking for 30 minutes to 45 minutes a day is great for your cardiovascular health, right? So eating healthy daily will go a long way. I'm not saying, okay, don't eat your cheat meal, okay? Don't have a cheat meal, right? You could do that, but once in a while. Just don't do it daily. It does go a long way in the future in taking care of your health.
Now you spoke about the frustration that caregivers or family members face when they're dealing with and caring for an Alzheimer's patient. Based on your experience, what recommendations would you give to caregivers or family members to perhaps manage their own frustrations, which in turn affects the patient?
So the problem arises from a lack of knowledge on the disease, right? People will think that the patient would be reacting like that because of hate, right? But it's just the disease that has them that way. What I always tell my patients and the family members, the caregivers, learn about the disease. Do a little bit of research to find out what the disease is about, how the patient would react, what are the symptoms that they would go through, right? From there, if they can get help, I recommend getting help, right? Because it's difficult for one person to deal with someone who has severe Alzheimer's. It's almost impossible for that next person to not develop mental health issues as well. And so getting help is the most important part. You can't do it on your own. And there are multiple places available that are there to help you out, okay? We at Mercy Clinic, so we go to the patient's house, we talk to them, we visit them. They can call us if they have a problem. We go back to them, we explain to them what's happening. We have a social worker as well that goes to the house, and has a more in-depth discussion with the family member on how to manage their frustration, right? So that helps a lot, having a social
Wow.
worker that you can talk to you one-on-one basis and help you get through that.
Outside of the Mercy Clinic, are there any other support systems available out there in Belize?
So you have HelpAge, the palliative care team. They do have social workers as well and doctors that go to the house. You have Hope, I think that's located in Toledo district. You have
Society?
the Belize Brain Awareness Society.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that I'm familiar with that do offer help in with regards to this.
Yeah, I'm curious to know what's the ratio between the elderly patients and younger patients that you've seen throughout your career.
So I have never seen a young patient with Alzheimer's. I've read online that they've documented Alzheimer's in a person as young as 19. The patients I see at Mercy Clinic are geriatric patients. So those are patients 60 years and older, right? We do have a lot of them with dementia-related symptoms. We just haven't diagnosed them as Alzheimer's as yet, right?
Okay.
But more than likely, if it goes uncontrolled and that, it does lead to something worse, right? However, it is very common in the elderly, right? And that's because as you get older, everything tends to slow down, right? Yeah, everything tends to get worse. So all those unhealthy eating plans that you've had from when you were young, they play a big role now, right? So that's why I say everything just sums up. So you have to take care of your health from a younger age.
Yeah, you don't have to tell us twice. So the services at Mercy Clinic, are they subsidized for patients?
Yes, so we work with NHI. We are an NHI provider. So we get amount of patients I get to see per month, and we see them. The clinic has the patients that come into the clinic as well. I see the patients that cannot come into the clinic for a reason, for example, like Alzheimer's, severe Alzheimer's, or moderate Alzheimer's, whereby they can't remember where they'll go or where they left their things, right? So or patients who had a fracture or unable to walk, those are the patients I would go to see, right? We see them once a month, or depending on their cases, if they need me to go before the month is over to have a look on them, then we do that as well.
All right. Well, Dr. Carl, it has been a wonderful conversation with you. For persons who would like to reach out to the Mercy Clinic or even yourself, you said that you're an outpatient doctor. How can they do so to ask further questions regarding dementia and Alzheimer?
Okay, so for our patients, we normally provide them with a phone number that they can call us, or they can just come on over to Mercy Clinic. They can ask to join as a member. And when they ask to join, then we find out more about them. We find out if they are able to come to the clinic or not. And based on that, then we go to see them.
All right. Well, thank you very much. And we wish you guys all the best.
You as well. Thank you for having me as well. Have a nice day, guys.
Before we leave you, we have a motivational quote that we would like to share with you and our guests this morning. This morning's quote is, "Our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall." And this comes from Confucius.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you, Doc.
Thank you very much. We take another quick break now, but don't go anywhere. We have much more conversations to look forward to right here on Open Your Eyes.